Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. Cindy here from CLB Craft Creations with a card project for you. It's been a while since I've actually done a card project, so I'm actually really excited to share one with you. We are going to use the number of years stamp set, and we're actually not going to use any of the numbers. We're just going to use some of the, actually just the flower and the happy birthday set, or the happy birthday saying. So we're going to go ahead and go through the supplies. This is the kit, and we're going to use a piece of Whisper White for our card base, which is cut at 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. It's going to be a top folding. I guess I could show you the card actually that we're going to make. We're going to make this card. I'm calling it kind of a peekaboo card because we've got this little piece here that's kind of peeking out of the inside of the card. Oh, well, not the inside of the card, but it's peeking out from this little circle here. And then I also have the inside stamped. So that is our finished card project. So we've got our card base. Then we have a piece of Pool Party, which is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And a piece of the birthday bouquet. Sometimes I forget what it's called. DSP, and that is cut at 2 by 5 1/4. And then I have some Whisper White twine, and I'll be using, I'll just kind of go through all the supplies here. I'm going to use my 2.5 inch circle punch. The colors of inks that we're going to be using are Watermelon Wonder, Pear Pizzazz, Blushing Bride, Pool Party. And we're going to also be using some rhinestones, the basic rhinestones. I've got my scissors and my dimensionals and my snail. So let's go ahead and get started. Get this stuff out of the way. The first thing, oh, and if you'd like to win one of these kits, I'm actually going to do a quick little giveaway. No purchase necessary. All you have to do is one, be a subscriber, but leave a comment on this video, and I will pick a random winner, and I'll get that out to you. So you'll get, this is basically what you'll get plus the envelope, obviously, and then you can create the card. All right. So the first thing that we want to do is actually attach our DSP layer to the center of the Pool Party. So I'm just going to use my snail. Hopefully I've got one that actually has some adhesive in it. Now, when you're doing this, because we're going to punch out the circle in the middle, make sure that you put adhesive all the way there, because you don't want, once you punch that out, for it to be flapping, and it's really hard to actually add adhesive after you've already punched it out. So now we're going to center this in the middle the best that we can. Okay, and you just kind of give that a good little rub. And I will go ahead and punch out the circle. Now what I want you to do, so you want to take your punch in from the right side of your card, and you want to push it all the way in so it's flush with the back of the punch, and then just kind of eyeball center that. You can see the space top and bottom, so it's pretty easy to center it with that strip. Just give that a punch. The Designer Series paper is thin enough that you can actually get both of those punched out at once. And so this is why I told you to make sure that you got enough adhesive on there, because you're going to have this tiny little piece left over here, and it is really hard to reattach once you've put it on there. So then you can use this for another project somewhere. You could, pop that up on a white card base and put, pretty little sentiment or something on top. So save that because you can use it again. All right, so we're done with the punch. I'm going to go ahead and stamp my happy birthday next. I'm going to do that in the Watermelon Wonder, just so that we can get that done and out of the way. So I'll bring that in on my block. And I just have this centered, I just put this centered right here at the bottom. All right, so that is done. We do need the I'll close that up. We do need the Watermelon Wonder. And now I'm going to Actually, we could probably go ahead and put our twine on there. I just have this wrapped around twice. This is actually probably way more twine than I needed. But for the purpose of this video, I didn't want to have to be trying to cut. Make sure it's... If you win the kit, you will definitely have enough to make your bow and to loop it around as well. So it's the first time I've actually done a giveaway like that, so I'm actually kind of excited. Okay, and we're just going to tie a basic bow. Now this bow does kind of flop around a little bit, so if that bothers you, I would suggest putting a glue dot behind that. Just make this a little smaller. It doesn't bother me that much, so. And then that way, if you have it off center any, you can still kind of move it around until you actually put it down. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and cut off the excess tails. Okay, get that out of the way. And now this piece is basically done and ready to pop up on our card. We're not ready for that yet though, so I'm going to go ahead and put this just off to the side. I'm going to bring in my card base now, and I'm going to open it up. Now, a tip for you, if you're going to do this, what I did is I took one of my larger blocks, and I have lines on this block. This is not a Stampin' Up! Block, but I'm sure everyone has something in their repertoire that they can use. It doesn't really matter actually that it has the lines. You just need a large block. And what I did is originally I laid this on after I did my cutout, I laid this piece the way that I would want it centered on the front of my card base. And then I took the uninked stamp and I laid that in the middle of my circle. And what I did is when I went to go pick it up, I made sure that I knew how to line this up again. So right now I have the bottom of my block and the side of my block lined up flush with the bottom and side of the cardstock. So then I put my block right down on top of that image. And so now I know that when I go to stamp this, I don't have to worry about this. And I can just line that up right there with the bottom and side of the card, and it's going to be in the perfect position. If you don't have a block big enough to do that with, and you're just using a smaller block, then what I would recommend is same thing, put your piece on here the way that you would want to have it mounted, and then you would just lightly line the inside of this circle with a pencil, and then you can erase that afterwards. So that would just be to give you a guide, and then you'll have a circle on your card front. So that's another way to do that if you don't have a block big enough to do that. Okay, so I can stop talking now, and I'm going to go ahead and bring in my my Pear Pizzazz. My lights look a little off here. Don't seem to have enough light there. Okay, so my Pear Pizzazz ink, and I'm going to go ahead and ink up the leaf image. Okay, and the reason I have my card folded is because I don't want it to touch the ink pad or the stamp before I'm ready to put it down. Okay, so now I'm going to line this up with the side and the bottom, and I'm going to go down. Okay. Oops. Whew, that was close. All right, so now I've got that image done, and I'm going to go in now with the smaller pieces. Now this is considered a 2-step stamp set, and by that means that you basically layer the stamps to make your image. So these stamps now come with these little indicators, these little triangles to kind of show you or remind you where to actually, you know, how you need to stamp them in order to make them fit. So they all have, let's see if this one has this one does not. So actually the leaf one does. So you can't probably barely even see it, but it's right there. So that's telling you that that's the up position. Now this one, however, I guess if you were going to put that over on this side, that would make sense because then it's going up. But I'm actually going to put it over here, so it doesn't really benefit me that way. You really can kind of stamp these in any direction that you want. This one, these little roses do, however, matter because those go right there, and so that little triangle going up is important. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp this little cluster in the Watermelon Wonder. And like I said, I'm going to actually put that right over here. And these are so easy to line up since they're clear. You can see right where you're stamping, so that makes it really nice. Okay, so that was, oh, and you know what? I also wanted to stamp the inside of the card. I'll do this first, and then we'll go ahead and stamp the inside. It's the same process, so it's not hard to do. Okay, so I'm going to ink up the little roses in, whoops, in the Blushing Bride. And like I said before, I've got my little tab heading up, and I'm just going to line that up with the stems. There you go, voila. And then I'm going to go in with the Soft Sky and the tiny little flower. I'm sorry, it's actually Pool Party, not Soft Sky. And again, this has got the little piece that's going up, so I know that I need to go in that direction. I'm going to put that guy right in there. And then I'm going to put another one right over here. Like I said, they're really easy to line up. Okay, so now I'll go ahead and flip this over, and I will do the same thing on the inside. And this, of course, is optional, but it looks nice when you open up the card. Oftentimes we don't think to do that. Now, obviously, I'm not going to do the line-up piece like I did before. Hopefully you can actually see that. Sorry, I just jumped off camera. So you can choose to do this or not do this. It's not critical. There's the Pure Pizzazz. We'll go back in with the Watermelon Wonder. Okay. The Pool Party. Which goes in here. And I don't know, I mean, other than those roses, I don't know that there is a right or wrong position for any of these. I think it's really just your preference, because I did actually put that little Watermelon Wonder cluster on the other side on my sample. I didn't allow enough room on that other side though, so that's why I changed it. Okay, and so then I'll just do these final. Okay, so now the inside and the outside are both done, and all we have to do is assemble now, and then add our finishing touch. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this up on dimensionals. And you want to make sure that you put some here in the center so that this piece doesn't basically fall. Okay, so I think we'll do, I guess we probably need 6. But one more. I just kind of felt like I didn't want that to cave, so that's why I added that piece there to the center, because there's not much holding it up otherwise. Oh, these are stuck on there. So again, just a reminder, if you would like to win one of these kits to make yourself, make sure you leave a comment below. You're a subscriber. And I will pick a winner on Friday, and I will get your kit out to you. Now you will have to add the rhinestones yourself, but other than that, everything else will be in here. So all the paper and the cardstock, as well as the twine, will be in the kit for you. So that's exciting. And then the final touch, and we are done, is just to add some of these tiny little jewels. And I'm just going to cut these tiny ones here. I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut that strip. Okay, and I'm just going to do 2 of them. Actually, you know what? What the heck? I'll actually throw in the rhinestones too. Change things up there. I can just cut off a little strip here. So that way you can make the whole card. And voila! We are done with our card. So here's my original. Again, like I said, it fits better in the circle with the Watermelon Wonder cluster on that side, but honestly, I think that it doesn't really matter. You know, I mean, if I would have lined it up differently, it would have been fine. So there you have it. I hope that you enjoyed this project and that you'll give it a try. So make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and leave me a comment. Thanks, guys. I'll see you soon.